Hey guys! Hello and welcome to our special program, Beauty in Xinjiang. I'm Qiuyuan coming to you live in Beijing. Today we're going to bring you a special edition of the CMG Spring Festival Gala featuring one of the most picturesque and magical places in China, Xinjiang. Well, Xinjiang in northwest China is renowned for its breathtaking sceneries, rich resources, and vibrant culture. And the show Beauty in Xinjiang was produced to celebrate the Chinese New Year earlier in February and has been one of the most watched New Year programs in China. So we figured we have to bring it to you. This is something you definitely don't want to miss. So in the next hour, we're going to be watching the show together with you. Buckle up for some great music, amazing dances, creative performances, and tons of fun. And before we get started, let me bring you my guest, Mr. Deng Jimeng, Senior Research Fellow at the China Center for Globalization. Welcome, Professor.
Hello, thank you.
And also we have Professor Mark Levine, Professor at the Minzu University of China. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining
very
us,
much.
Gentlemen.
Looking forward to this.
Now look, we have here, we've got some specialties, snacks from Xinjiang. We've got nuts, fruits, so feel free to dig in. We have a great show we're going to see in just a few moments. It's all about celebrating the rich and diverse culture in Xinjiang. And Professor, I understand you just been to Xinjiang not too long ago, right? How do you feel about
I was there at
the
the
place?
end of the summer. It was great. It was great. Mentioned the food, the scenery is, I've never seen scenery like this. Rich, big, mountains. I went on a road, it's called the Ancient Road, and there were 660 curves, bends. And the people were really friendly, and we saw music and dancing, and it was great.
Yeah, I love everything about it. The welcoming culture, the hospitality of people, the food, the music, and the dance. What about you, Professor? What comes to your mind when we talk about Xinjiang?
Well, big mountains, large man masses, and also ethnic diversities, right? Especially the Uygur people who are extremely hospitable and then friendly and talented. I'm very much impressed by the songs and music and the dances and the food.
Yeah, and the place is so vast. The experiences you're going to get and the landscapes you're going to see in North China, North Xinjiang and South Xinjiang are vastly different, isn't it?
Yeah. It is indeed. I mean, indeed, the whole region is split and divided by this Tian Shan mountain range. To the north of it is this Zungarian kind of a basin, and to the south of it is the Tarim Basin. Each of these basins have different kind of a topography and geography. I mean, it's amazing. It actually featured this very interesting kind of film locations that one of my directors are actually filming there. It's amazing.
What was that?
I mean, the Hero, by Zhang Yimou, and also this young director who filmed the Yellow or the Gobi Desert out there.
Wow, incredible,
very good.
incredible. That was a great film, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And to me, I do think that South Xinjiang really exudes a rich vibe of cultural and ethnic feel for people compared to North Xinjiang. And I understand a number of ethnic groups actually live in this place, right?
Yes, but the most important thing is that there's a unity. We refer to it as unity and diversity. All right, and because although there are, yes, a variety of different ethnic groups, they're all Chinese, and they recognize they're Chinese, and they appreciate the fact that they're Chinese. And hopefully we'll see maybe some of the performances tonight, but some that I was able to see had a wide variety of different kinds of musical instruments or different dances all combined together.
So if you were to use a few keywords to describe this place, what would them be?
Well, natural beauty, right? And solidarity, the kind of ethnic unity, and also the love of life. The love of life, the respect for life, and respect for what they're doing and who they are.
Exactly. What about you, Professor?
Everywhere I went, people were extremely friendly.
Yes.
All right, even though I don't speak Chinese and I don't speak any of the other languages that were
They
spoken.
speak their own language, not
And
the Mandarin
yes,
Chinese.
right. So I don't. Some people spoke a variety of different languages, and I don't speak any of them. But people were extremely welcoming and friendly. All right, and were happy I was there and wanted to share what life was like there. I visited homes, I went to schools, I went to farms, and everybody was extraordinarily welcoming.
Amazing experience. You know what? Why don't we take our viewers to the gala? Why don't we get to learn more about the beauty in Xinjiang through this 2024 Spring Festival Gala? Let's watch.
Great.
start with a grand opening dance. This is called the Joyful Earth. And now the 9-tier circle you just saw, formed by dancers, symbolizes the unity of various ethnic groups in Xinjiang, right? And this visual elements of rolling waves of fields further complement this concept, conveying the united spirit of the people of Xinjiang to build a strong sense of community among all ethnic groups. And dances of 6 ethnic groups are featured here. Guess what it is now, Professor?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's got to be euphoria that is so very infectious. I mean,
Yep. So first up, we've got the Uygur dance, marked by their unique wrist movement, neck movements, and eye movements. And now coming your way are the Kazakh dance. These girls are dressed in blue. Beautiful, and their dance is marked by powerful hand movements, the footworks, and the chasing steps. I love their hats, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the vitality, huh?
You can see full,
Dynamism,
yeah,
yeah.
full of energy. And now comes the Mongolian dance. Oh, I love the music. The music and the dance moves really reflect their rich nomadic heritage.
I believe it is played on this horsehead 2-string instrument, right?
And taking center stage now is the couples dance, I believe, of the Kyrgyz ethnic minority group, famous for their shuffling steps. Here comes the Hui dance. Keep in mind, the Hui community also represents a major population there in Xinjiang.
Horses.
Oh, yeah, right.
And now you're seeing the Yanga dance from the Han Chinese. It's really a great mixture.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting and powerful, huh? I mean, the way of dancing. I mean, they're learning from each other. I see a mixing of style. All very forceful. Oh, violent.
Isn't it amazing how many types of dances we just saw in just one performance? Talk to us
Absolutely.
about the diversity of these ethnic culture and how they reflect the region's identity.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When you watch this Mongolian dance, I mean, that really strikes us as very powerful and lots of, for example, jumping and using of body languages. And so that actually could lead us to, in a sense, the imagination of this nomadic way of life out there back in the Asian past.
Definitely.
Now passed down to contemporary China.
And that nomadic heritage really contributed to the region's artistic expression,
Yes.
cultural practices, right?
Indeed, indeed.
And looking at the backdrop of that stage, this is really set beautifully in the old city of Kashgar. And Professor, I know you've traveled to Kashgar, huh?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It was great, and as I watch this, it makes me want to go back. So I was fortunate to watch several different performances, both
In
dancing
Kashgar?
in Kashgar, and 2 or 3 different places. One place I went to was a place that made musical instruments, wooden instruments, a wide variety of different kinds of instruments, and we saw them being made, all handmade, and then at the very end they had a small show with them. And there and a couple of other places that I saw shows, part of what would happen is as they got towards the end, if there was dancing, then they would come and ask you to join the dance. So many people didn't want to, but I said, here I am.
Why not,
And
right?
I need to join in and share and appreciate the culture, not just through observing, but through trying to learn a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't learn very much, but I had a good time and they appreciated it.
Yeah, this is one of those landmark sites in Kashgar that plays an important role in the city's culture. It holds significant cultural significance there. It has a history of over 200 years, 2,000 years, I should say. So you could find evidence of settlements from as early as the Han Dynasty. And look at the architecture. The architecture really stands out to me. You can see these traditional Islamic style architecture, mud brick houses, the alleyways. If you get a chance to visit there, you will see the streets are lined with these intricately decorated buildings, and you can see all the wooden balconies, the carved doorways. It's incredible.
Extraordinary. I mean, this is actually reflecting this very kind of Asian influence, for example, from the Arabic world, the Persians, and also the Chinese. I mean, in fact, when I was visiting Dubai years ago, I mean, I saw the kind of mud house, the kind of architectural style. And now in Kashgar, you see this kind of interesting combination, right, of both Chinese, Arabic, and Persian, everything. It's an interesting hub. I mean, that's why. I mean, they learn everything, the best of everything from all these regions.
Now this
It's like the old Silk Road.
Yeah, the Silk Road, the hub.
The old Silk Road.
Yeah, it really reflects that
Brought
interaction
people
culturally.
together.
Yeah,
Right.
influenced by the Silk Road.
Yeah.
And this performance is called the Vibrant Red Prosperous New Year. So how do people in Xinjiang, a multi-ethnic region, celebrate the Chinese New Year? This show is showing you just that. Take a look.
Oh.
So you can see all these real-life scenes, this scene of happiness across various cities in Xinjiang, touching hearts of people from all ethnic groups. You see all the pastries, the big meal. They feature all the big elements celebrating New Year, right? Dances, drum playing.
I even see the red envelope.
Oh, red
People are
envelope,
giving
yes.
out money, right, in those red envelopes.
Yep. So any interesting similarities or differences, you have observed in terms of celebrating the New Year in Xinjiang and other regions?
I don't see a difference. I see similarities. I see lots of similarities, I think, in people getting together and celebrating.
I think that getting together, the family reunion, and the importance of the family and the importance of the community, not just the individual families, but others around them, friends, colleagues, fellow students, and so on. And it shows the unity.
I mean, these activities were kind of organized on communal basis.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was getting together with everybody. Old and young, men and women, and you see this great kind of equality out there. I mean, participatory. I would say it's almost like a participatory democracy. Like that.
Oh yeah. And I know the Uyghur community would celebrate the big day, preparing a feast featuring some of their traditional dishes. One of them is called pilaf, or jaffa in Mandarin. My grandparents make the best. They make the most amazing pilaf. They're Han Chinese, but they've pretty much lived in Urumqi for their entire life. They learn it from their Uyghur friends. Tastes like heaven. Loved it.
Oh, they do learn from each other, right?
Oh yeah, they do. And for the Han Chinese in Urumqi, they pretty much celebrate the New Year in a manner similar to other regions. So, like you said, the big meal, the dumplings in the red envelope. It's incredible. So coming up next, we're going to see a number of young artists performing songs for us. And Professor, I understand you actually knew some of the native Xinjiang artists, right? You've worked with them, you've performed with them.
A few, and plus, I don't know who we're going to see, but it's quite possible that some of these artists may have been students at my university. I don't know that.
Interesting.
I know that we have a very significant performing arts school that includes music and dance and instrumentation, and many of them work at the big theater in Haidian, and it's possible that some might be here. We'll see.
Yeah. So this song, Homecoming, is brought to you by Air, a native Kashgar artist. Tells the story of a young man longing for a home. After traveling and seeing the world, he eventually returns to his hometown. And keep in mind, Kashgar today, as one of the 3 subregions of China's Xinjiang Pilot Free Trade Zone, has embracing new development opportunities. So more and more young people are actually returning to their hometowns to note them. So take a listen to this song.
气派经济叫兵必败，上面有个比实力厚的气概，实力过硬无一例外。展望新历史中，满江热血的幕，随归新世界，我身经入眼，等北京之远传承谣言。开拓者开阔的视野，在九零年下强人担当走开拓，大起又大落，没怕过，怀抱说过恩典是常喜怒哀乐。国人在放映中烙印着启程与转播，从黑白至彩色，闪烁在这长河里，向王朝位置探索。
I'm not a dancer. I'm a musician, but I'm not a dancer. But it's hard to keep sitting here. The dancing going on, it's hard not to get up and join them.
Think of it as a remote area the remotest, I would say, right, out there in the northwestern water area. But they are acting like, they're in the center of the universe, right?
Yeah.
And they're learning and they're mixing and they are actually part of the global pop. This whole breakdance thing coming from North America and now being practiced in this region. Music and dance are truly the universal language. They unite these people, but also people around the world.
Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So the next song, Echoes of Millennia by pop artist Curly G, which is also a huge star in China. This is a piece from the immersive cultural and creative stage play Echoes of Millennia, launched by the Xinjiang Museum. It aims to connect millennia-old cultural relics from the ancient Silk Road sleeping in museums with people in modern times.
Yep.
So listen.
千年之语，千年寻找，诉说前世今生，语音缭绕，斗转星移，光阴交替，你露出迷人的样貌，微风中飘来细碎记忆。 岁月里我才落不破寻找，时间在倒退，梦渐渐开始清晰，刹那过眼一念之间，感觉烟火里的喧嚣，微妙的眼泪。
Style does remind me of this very famous rock and roll band here in China, in Beijing, the Tang Dynasty. They were talking about dream return back to this very region when Xinjiang was part of this greater China. And so lots of nostalgia. Seeing represents this kind of nostalgia and that very Silk Road that eventually come back to this everyday life.
Yes, it really speaks to different generations of people.
The evocative imagery that they try to kind of come up with is still the sun, the moon, and the common imagery in Chinese poetry and literature in general.
There's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, really. Really.
Poetry. And now here comes the song Herdsman of Cocktailcay by artist Wang Qi. If you don't know this, Wang Qi actually made a name for himself after performing on the CMG Spring Festival Gala in 2021. And the song Herdsman of Cocktailcay moved countless people and has made this place one of the most poetic regions in the country for a lot of people.
陪着我哭泣，你的驼铃声仿佛还在我耳边响起，告诉我你曾来过这里。过酿的酒，喝 得不起我自己。你唱的歌，却让我一醉不起。我愿意陪你翻过雪山，穿越戈壁。可你从此耳边还断绝了所有的消息。心上人，我在可可托海等你。他们说你嫁到了伊犁，是不是因为那里有美丽的那拉提？还是那里的杏花才能酿出你要的甜蜜？毡房外又有驼铃声声响起，我知道那一定不是你。
Lots of familiar names. I think it must remind you of your experience when you grew up back home. You know, I see the.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I love it. They're trying to recreate the landscapes, the vast, beautiful sceneries of Kaktoke on the stage there. It's really bringing the audience an immersive experience of the life there in Kaktoke.
Indeed, it was kind of a really immersive experience while listening to those songs.
Dance is also beautiful. I guess they're trying to tell a love story.
It is indeed.
People's hope for love. So coming up next, we're going to see a performance featuring the 12 mukam of Xinjiang. Talk to us more about it, Professor. Why is it called the mother of the Uyghur music?
Well, from my understanding, much of the content goes back far beyond centuries, at least one millennia, perhaps. And my understanding is that about 500 years ago, there was a big, all of this was collected and assembled and divided up into 12 different performances with singing and dancing and even acrobatics. I had the good fortune to attend a theater, and we saw a small excerpt from this, because if all of them, if the entire 12 are performed, it's supposed to take 20 hours. And we didn't have 20 hours, so we had little excerpts. And it was really good, very enjoyable. And they do daily performances, like once or twice a day at this particular theater in Kashgar.
Very interesting. And the 12 mukam has been passed down through generations via oral traditions, actually, with master musicians teaching their apprentices in a mentor-disciple relationship.
Right. And part of this goes back to the fact that for much of that history, there wasn't written ways to transmit, particularly music, right? The idea of writing a musical score only is relatively modern times, only to the Renaissance. And prior to that, that didn't exist. So the only way you could actually hear a melody, or you could know a melody, was to hear somebody sing it. All right? And so the words were passed on, and then the melodies were passed on through this. This is a wide mixture of different kinds of not only costumes, but musical instruments and dancing.
This song, I Dedicate My Love to the Motherland, is actually a recreation based on the original version. And this is the first time that over 500 people are performing together at one time for this song.
Whoa.
Yep. Setting a record.
I can just imagine the rehearsal.
Right, that's right. Kind of look at this band. All 12 musical instruments. Different instruments, right? And in a range.
And the bowl balancing dance as well. Look at the girls with the bowls on their top, from their head.
Yeah.
And these are the tambourines, right? The tamuras, right? And these are actually
major ethnic instrument.
Yeah. I mean, they have been, I think, also, I mean, spread out to North America. I mean, I used to, some of these musicians in North America would play this kind of tambourine.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Dylan even had a song called The Tambourine Man. I mean, so sing praise of his own masters. But then the two origins are here in this region, huh?
Yeah, see the origin story.
Yeah, it's stunning, beautiful. Stunningly beautiful.
So really lots of elements, lots of stuff going on in this one performance, right? Featuring ethnic instruments, the dance moves, the music.
The costume, look at the costumes and all these
Beautiful,
great
exquisite. And for our viewers who are watching us online, in front of a computer, in front of a cell phone, feel free to let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the show, which performances you like. Leave us a comment. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. We might read out your comments. This is the acrobatics.
Yeah. Oh.
So we've got some comments from our viewers. Okay, this is a comment from our viewers, I guess from Facebook. It says, China is the best partner in business and no war hostilities will ever keep us apart. Big loving hug, everybody out there. Thank you very much.
Nice comment.
Nice comment. Hug
Tremendous
you
thank
right
you.
back.
Tremendous thank you to him.
And this comment is from Dang Thong Kana. This is from a viewer in Vietnam. It says, big festive event in China. Congratulations. Thank you.
Very kind.
Whoa.
I gotta mention the acrobatics is performed by the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps acrobatic troupe. Yep.
Amazing. They're training great talents out there, huh?
Yeah.
Great talents.
And the song is written by
Wang Luobin,
Yes,
yes.
you know all about him.
Oh yeah, Mr. Wang. This is a legendary character, I mean, in Chinese musical history. He was born in 1913 and in Shandong. He's Han Chinese, but then traveled extensively throughout Xinjiang, collecting songs and lyrics. I mean, documenting the very content of those great songs and try to come up with new songs and adapting these new lyrics to these songs.
He's got a great nickname though. People go on.
Yeah, he will go on, right.
Which means king of Western songs.
That's right, that's right. I mean, he's kind of a living, an indelible mark on Chinese history, music history especially.
Very true.
No, don't know the song. I mean, I don't know how to sing it. But I know the melody. Night in Kashgar.
Yep.
All right, Arafat. I know him.
Huh.
He and I have not performed together, but performed on the same shows at least 3 or 4 times years ago. He was much younger then. I guess I was too. But yes, I know his name and I recognize him. Very talented young man.
Yeah. They travel in between, right? Xinjiang and Beijing.
Yeah,
You know, lots of
I
these-
only met him in Beijing.
Yeah, right.
In Beijing.
Remember, there is a Xinjiang street in between our two campuses back in the 1990s. Were you there in the 1990s?
No, I wasn't there, but I
see.
know about the neighborhood.
Yeah, this huge lane. I mean, where actually have lots of these Xinjiang migrants out there.
Yeah.
Food, restaurants, and bars. I mean, where these guys were actually singing a lot. And that was my first exposure to Xinjiang people, the culture and the singing and the dancing.
Yeah, he's one of the younger generation artists there, but how have, young artists like him contributed to or, worked to preserve the cultural heritage in Xinjiang in the face of modern influence?
I think part of what happens is you have a lot of young performers who we saw here, young performers singing, dancing, playing the instruments on the one hand, and on the other hand, often, so I know students who play various instruments that come from Xinjiang or other parts of China, but then they also play some Western instruments as well. And perhaps they'll join in musical groups, and sometimes they'll play one instrument, and sometimes they'll play another. So on the one hand, they're holding on to tradition, and on the other hand, they're taking that tradition and they're bringing it forward in new directions.
I mean, they're also quite talented in terms of linguistic techniques.
Yeah.
We have students coming from Xinjiang participating in the speech contest, and their English is outstanding.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they would perform an English song. I mean, they sing Michael Jackson's songs. I mean, which was very impressive. Is it cold out there at this time?
It is.
It is, huh?
It is.
Okay. Oh, that's the Mongolian
Horse fiddle. This instrument's played, it's unlike other string instruments because you don't press the string down. You put your finger underneath the string and it resonates against the top of your finger, against your fingernail.
The fingernail that produces this very
sound.
Yes.
So it's whereas the guitars or an erhu or other kinds of stringed instruments, you put your finger down on the string as opposed to underneath.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, it's completely different. It has a beautiful sound.
And you see all these different instruments, I guess from different ethnic groups. Can you tell us more about them? What did you see?
Well, he had mentioned the matoshin, the horse fiddle, and that's a Mongolian instrument. And then I cannot remember, the performer on the left has this small stringed instrument, which is a Uygur instrument.
You know this Xinjiang, this Uyghur word, what is it? Tour? It's also a musical instrument. Tulam. Tulam, right? And that's the indigenous kind of a musical instrument they play. I think it should be. Oh no, that's the horse head. One on the right, maybe.
So this is a great mix. The pop artist Qiuyuan is collaborating with a native Xinjiang band called Uygur. This band is an emerging band founded in the year 2021, and their music is all about combining Xinjiang folk instruments with rock music. You were going to say?
So when I was in Kashgar, a couple of the performances played this song, and I have a hard time not singing.
I mean this one.
This,
Oh wow.
Why are flowers so red?
Yep. And although I don't speak Chinese, I can sing a number of Chinese songs,
Including this one.
including this one.
You know the lyrics?
I know most of the lyrics. I haven't sung it in a while, but I could sing the first verse with no trouble.
That's incredible.
A little bit of the
Impressive.
second verse. When haven't played it in many years, but when I do, then I can play. But I sang a little bit.
Easy to sing. It's very easy lyrics.
Very nice. Very nice, beautiful song.
It used to be a theme song from a film, right? The visitors from on the icy mountains, right?
为什么这样咸？为什么这样？Oh, can't remember.
It's an iconic song. Really,
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
All-time classic.
Yeah, all-time favorite. I mean, that brings back my need to all those days. I mean, back in the 70s and even a good part of the 80s. Really symbolizing the kind of a unity, right?
It is a very good example of contemporary Xinjiang artists collaborating or blend traditional techniques with modern influences in their work. Now this is a Kazakh folk song and dance called Hara Jorga. Hara Jorga, meaning black horse, is the most representative folk dance of the Kazakh ethnic group. The people of all ages are fond of the dance, which should be performed in large festive gatherings or small yurts, and it fully embodies the bold and unrestrained spirit of the ethnic group.
Unlike Western ballet, usually they have a male and female lead dancer. Now we see kind of almost like an ensemble act, right? I mean, we have lots of these male and female dancers. And basically sending almost like a collective message, right? And unlike ballet, I mean, some of these ballets could be very sad to watch. Now you could see this kind of euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
So of course, writing gestures out there, body language.
Just thinking about that.
A true reflection of their way of life.
Now this song, The Most Beautiful Winter, is all about celebrating the ice and snow culture in Xinjiang. Believe it or not, in mid-20th century rock paintings dating back to 10 to 30,000 years were discovered in the Altai region of Xinjiang, depicting ancient Altai people engaging in primitive skiing activities. And then in 2006, the Altai region was officially confirmed as the earliest birthplace of skiing in the world. is really experiencing a boom in winter sports, and Xinjiang now has some of the best skiing resorts in the country. More and more people are going to Xinjiang to ski.
Well, absolutely. In this past Winter Olympic Games, I mean, lots of Chinese kind of players are participating in the skiing events. And I know that many of my friends actually are flying to Xinjiang and skiing over there. Oh, that's wrestling.
Yeah, you see all these traditional activities during the winter, these winter activities. Such as horse sledding, racing, traditional ice skating styles. These are very unique to the region. And there are so many unique aspects of the ice and snow culture in Xinjiang that really distinguishes Xinjiang from other regions known for winter sports. For one, you've got this vast and diverse landscapes that really provide stunning backdrops for winter sports activities. So visitors and athletes can enjoy a wide range of terrain for skiing, really, snow sporting and other winter sports.
Many predict that this is going to be a kind of economic growth point, the tourism, right? Winter tourism.
And they're doing a lot to promote tourism as well. You see all these online promotion campaigns. They're utilizing the power of social media. They're also holding major international winter sports events, festivals.
That's right.
When I was there, I saw many beautiful museums
Yeah.
that had a lot of tourists who were there, visiting, both Chinese and some foreign tourists. And museums, very well done museums that told a lot about the history of and the culture and the unity of the culture going back centuries and so on. So that this is also part of not only for local education but for people who come from elsewhere.
Definitely.
Tourists.
So coming up next, we're going to see a performance dedicated to the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps. Professor Cheng, tell us more about it. What should our viewers know about the Corps? What did they do for the region's growth and development?
Well, absolutely. This is a Chinese government-organized kind of an establishment established back in the 1950s, and specifically 1954. I mean, it is all because that after the end of the Civil War in 1949, and this huge army out there, I mean, who used to be kind of stationed along the border now actually have to survive. And how to survive, and they have to feed themselves. And that's why they turned the whole region. They used to have their army barracks into arable lands. And they grow trees and various farm products out there, and so they become self-sufficient. And nowadays they become a powerful economic unit. I mean, administering themselves with schools, hospitals, and companies. I would say this is the new age sort of a trading organization. They have factories and industries and kind of doing trade and commerce with these Central Asian countries. So I believe this is a true reflection of of their history. See, they start from being demobilized soldiers with their families staying behind and become the new settlers. Many of them actually come from coastal areas in China, like Shanghai, right, Guangzhou, and Beijing even.
So these are all the pictures from years back when they first started settling there.
That's right. I mean, building irrigations, right, doing the farm work, because they're the farmer boys. The soldiers used to be the peasants, the true peasants of the plain area, and now they were doing their own line work.
But now with the region developing so fast, do you still see the Corps would play a significant role going in the future?
Absolutely. I think this is a very well organized sort of establishment, and they are so very kind of capable and technologically advantageous, and so they build lots of infrastructures. So they have road companies. They also have oil drilling companies, and they are also engaged in import and export. So trading became their basically the normal operations. So with the resources, with the organizational acuity, and the financial and human power, and so they are absolutely going to play a major role in the future.
And in addition to the economic contribution, developing its agriculture sector, it's often credited with enhancing social cohesion and cultural integration in Xinjiang, right? Can you talk to us more about that? How the Corps has helped promoted the exchange and harmony among different ethnic groups there in Xinjiang?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the way that they operate. I mean, they start their farms and like cotton farms, and so they involve and hire many of the local laborers. And by involving the local laborers, and there is a kind of a cooperation in between the locals and also the Corps members. And so there's lots of mutual learning. I mean, learning how to farm in those Gobi Desert areas and build houses. Remember, they used to live in those kind of mud houses, halfway underground. And so, like this.
Things are very different now.
Yeah. So. It was very successful, and perhaps at the time seen by many as the experimental way of developing the region. And many became new settlers, right? And new generations of settlers seeing that place as their home.
Now, this next dance, Magaidi Under the Sunshine, has won the Gold Award for Ethnic and Folk Dance at the 13th China Dance Lotus Awards. And if you take a closer look, this dance blends Xinjiang folk dance and the younger dance in Shandong through creative choreography. And it really reflects that theme of unity between the Han people and the Uyghur peoples in the new era.
I think that word is the key to everything we've been watching tonight, and that's that word unity.
And respect, maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe respect.
Yeah. It's hard to be unified without
mutual
that respect.
understanding.
That's right. Really common prosperity, common development, including talents. I mean, these people are so talented, and I'm sure the Han Chinese would learn a lot from them. You learn a lot, maybe.
And that learning process could really benefit all of us.
Yeah.
the next song, As You Wish, is dedicated to all the people who had come to Xinjiang to build the region in the agricultural, educational, cultural, medical, industrial, and science sectors. It's a beautiful song. Take a listen to this.
你是遥遥的路，山野大雾里的灯。我是孩童啊，走在你的眼眸。你是明月清风，我是你照拂的梦。见与不见都一生与你相拥，而我正爱你所爱的人间，愿你所愿的笑颜，你的手我蹒跚再见，请带我去明天。如果说你曾哭过我的甜，我愿活成你的月，愿不忘啊，愿永忘啊，这盛世每一天。你是岁月长河，星火燃起的天空。
You're now seeing a number of pictures showing you over the years the efforts in boosting Xinjiang's agricultural sectors, educational sectors.
Yeah, I went to a farm, and the farmers were growing. Well, they had some in open fields, but they were growing in greenhouses, which none of them had any experience with. But the government had sent, the Chinese government had sent experts free of charge to teach them how to grow in greenhouses. And they would rent the greenhouse, and if you rented a greenhouse, you would also get an apartment in a brand new building not too far down the road, very close, walking distance, and talked to a few people, a few of the farmers there, and they were explaining how they rented this greenhouse, and then their income as a result was at least 4 to 5 times the cost of the greenhouse. And they got the greenhouse and the apartment and so on. And they got the free education and training, and they were producing a lot of stuff.
So there are many people have benefited from these aid programs.
Yeah.
Throughout Xinjiang, you can see the presence of aid workers pretty much everywhere, you know, contributing to the economic development, the peace and stability enjoyed by a lot of people in Xinjiang today. It is made possible by the concerted efforts of all of these people.
Indeed, and then universities keep sending professors and young people out there and to teach on campuses in Xinjiang. And so these concerted efforts are actually paid off. I mean, because young generations of students are now growing, and they can actually come over to Beijing and attend the universities here.
谢谢您，
谢谢您，谢谢你，谢谢你，
They're grateful people. They're grateful people.
And it wasn't just universities. I saw in several places, I saw signs where people were thanking Shanghai, that Shanghai had contributed.
Right.
That one of the aspects of the poverty alleviation program, a successful poverty alleviation program, was that larger, more financially stable cities kind of adopted, all right, and the less developed areas, and were put in a position of having to contribute to raise up all of China together. So that was a very important thing, which I was completely unaware of, and somebody started explaining about the sign. But I saw particularly the areas that I was in were focused, were aid sent from Shanghai.
And coming up next is a performance dedicated to the PLA soldiers stationed to defend the border areas there in Xinjiang. Tell us more about them, Professor Teng. What should we know about those soldiers defending our border areas?
Well, like the rest of the world, each country would send out their army to patrol and to secure the border regions And Xinjiang actually used to be a very, very kind of an important region, but subject to terrorism and religious fundamentalism. And so a standing army is quite necessary in actually being stationed over there to protect and to secure the security of peaceful life and peaceful citizens out there. And so once again, like the rest of the world, these young soldiers in active service deserve our respect, and artists are actually called upon to, in a sense, to sing praise of those young servicemen out there.
Can you tell me the name of this singer?
Singer? Let's find out.
I may know him as well.
You met him before?
I'm not sure. He looks very familiar, but I don't know. And he was
It's a familiar face.
Military tenor called Wang Hongwei.
Oh yeah, Wang Hongwei. Yes, I was on several shows with him as well. But it's been probably at least 8 or 9 years, which is why I wasn't sure. And he is a PLA singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Wang Hongwei. Yeah, it's been a long time.
So
But I recognize the dimples.
There are many of them, right? Many of the army artists, singers. Back in the past, Xinjiang, who sings beautifully out there, who are border troopers out there.
Yeah. We performed on big shows together 4 or 5 times in different parts of China.
These firemen.
They do face a unique set of challenges in Xinjiang's border regions, right? Not to mention the harsh living conditions there.
Right. It could be freezing out there, right?
It's freezing out there.
Their outpost on the mountains, right? Amazing.
And being away from their families.
That's right. So now they can communicate. They can use WeChat and TikTok.
Thanks to the internet infrastructure.
That's right. When you talk to your parents. Huh?
Yep. It was a tough job, so the peace and stability we enjoyed today, really big thank you.
Big salute to them.
So this dance, Picking Grapes, is known as one of the most representative folk dances in 20th century China. It's got a long history. So in 1959, that was way back, this dance actually won the Gold Award at the 7th World Youth Festival. And so far, 6 versions of the dance have been developed, each with its own highlights.
A great production value. I see the Uygur name out there, and so absolutely it is once again a concerted effort by both the Han Chinese and also Uygur artists working together. Green has always been kind of dominating color. I also take note of your green.
I'm wearing green.
Kind of local, right? We Han Chinese would prefer red. And they actually are very much in favor of this green.
We've actually got some grapes here. Why don't we dig in as we're watching Picking Grapes?
Right.
Okay.
Try some water.
No, Professor. Ooh, one shot.
Thank you.
Great. I tried the raisins.
The raisins, huh?
Yeah, the raisins.
They're pretty good.
This too reminds me of my trip there. Every meal had 6, 7 fruit, different kinds of fruit, different kinds of grapes, a couple different kinds of melon, peaches, apple, raisins, different kinds of nuts.
Yep.
It was quite an experience.
The meat lovers would love it too. All the barbecue, the lambs.
大美新疆，瑰丽如梦境的烂漫盛景，令人着迷。
大美新疆，璀璨若星。
So far we've seen folk dances kind of dominating the show, right? How do you think the ethnic cultures have interacted with the Han culture over the past and contributed to, the Chinese culture as a whole?
Well, as you can see, a festival like this, a gala event like this, would be a very precious opportunity for these artists to reach out, to the local Uyghur artists, maybe the Mongolians, the Hui artists, and so usually I think they would combine their efforts and ideas, most importantly, and had a mix of this very costumes, right? The costumes, which stands out quite a bit. But then with this striking visual effect.
Definitely. But Professor, do you see, modernization or globalization pose any threats to the preservation of their heritage, their cultural heritage there in Xinjiang?
Not necessarily, as long as there is an understanding that things can be taken from other cultures and added to this culture that we're seeing, these cultural expressions. But it's important, in some instances, there used to be a term 50 years ago that was often used. It was called cultural imperialism, where some Western developed countries would come in and they would become the dominant culture, replacing the local cultures and areas. And I think China is not only smart enough but strong enough to resist that. And I think China has demonstrated that already. And as long as that continues, then I have no fear that that would happen, because I would hate to see that occurring here.
Yeah, remember, China is smart. I like the word smart. China actually is smart in terms of assimilating this foreign culture and thrive on that very culture. So Chinese culture has never been the so pure Chinese culture, but it's all about this very cosmopolitan components being kind of joined together, stuck together, and then eventually we develop our own. Like a Tang Dynasty. The film, Chen Kaige made a film called The Story of This Demon Cat. It's about a cat story living in Tang Dynasty, but then forget about the cat. Compared with this one, once again, you will see a costume feast.
Oh yeah,
Creation of all kinds of Tang outfit and costumes.
It's truly a visual feast there.
It is.
And this final dance, the beautiful Xinjiang uses flowers, as you can see, as their main symbol. So as spring returns to earth, peonies bloom everywhere, and people welcome the arrival of the Year of the Dragon. And keep in mind, with the arrival of the Spring Festival, it also means spring is here.
Spring is coming.
Yep.
The Spring Gala is here, right? Is spring far away?
Fully embracing spring
Yeah.
now.
The weather is getting warmer.
And I love it.
Me too.
Bravo!
Well,
what a nice show there.
Great.
Stunning view.
Great.
The tower.
So now that's the whole show. How do you feel about it?
I'm really happy I got to see that.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have been able to join you and watch this and talk about it and express my feelings. And I got to get back there someday soon.
You got to. You got to go back. Got to go back. What about you, Professor Chang?
Once again, I'm very happy to witness this very professional, high production value sort of thing being put on this stage. And it reminds me one of the Asian saying is like this beautiful sound kind of would linger on in the beam for 3 days and nights, let me put it this way. So I enjoy every minute of it, and I'm enjoying
quite good.
Coming back again.
Great, great. So with that, we come to the end of this special program, Beauty in Xinjiang. We hoped you like it. I certainly had a lot of fun watching all the performances, and we wish you a fruitful and sparkling year coming ahead. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.